yes, I do have the missing time period recorded, and I don't have it all uploaded, but effectively, the cauldron is completed. Okay, that Shapiel is done. I'm gonna upload it later as pretty much just lost episodes that you don't need that explained to you after this, so just putting it right here within the first minute. Secondly, after that, we get kidnapped by this lady, and you can probably guess what this lady is. She's the lady who talked in that secret channel with the other Elizabeth, and now she's apparently switched sides and is going to help us. Also, Silence is being Silence, ironically, and just kind of being smart, dumb, and just all around not a very great person.
Anonymous, of course, to protect my privacy. But despite that anonymity, Far Zenith inevitably sought me out.
What happened when Far Zenith approached you?
They painted an irresistible vision of humanity's future. One where we need not fear illness or death, where we explored the furthest reaches of the stars and thrived. It was only later that I realized that they only intended to bequeath this future to the rich and powerful. By the time I finally figured it out, the walls were closing in, Pharaoh's machines were devouring the Earth. So I accepted Far Zenith's invitation to a birth on the Odyssey. I wanted Liz to come, but she had nobler plans, as you well know.
So you didn't know the other Zeniths were monsters until it was too late?
I knew some of them were, certainly. It wasn't until we were off-planet that I understood the true scope of their greed. I was grateful to simply be alive, but the others became obsessed with a kind of effortless immortality. They built a colony where machines serviced their every need, where any memory or fantasy could be endlessly savored in virtual reality. It wasn't life. It was stultifying, a pampered dream state. As the decades passed, I withdrew more and more, alone yet again, but this time with eons to consider my mistakes. Now finally, having met you, I feel like I have a second chance.
Oh yeah, this is the same balcony that she talked to the other Elizabeth. I'm just going to say Beta. She talked to Beta on, but this is the real one and not the before the world was destroyed and had like 1,000 years to rust away.
To do what?
Help you, of course. To fulfill Liz's dream, which isn't so different from Far Zenith's original vision.
Why did you make the data channel look like this place?
I built this house as a shelter to weather any storm. A safe place. Not just for me, but for the art stored below. Cultural artifacts of incalculable value. Truly some of the greatest achievements of human civilization.
And you wanted Beta to see them?
Yes. Her upbringing was so cold and technical. I thought if she could experience Vermeer and Rembrandt, it would bring something else into her life. A heritage every bit as valuable as the scientific and technical data being drummed into her.
All right, fair.
Out of contact, but I'll never regret sharing this house with her. She needed its shelter even more than I did.
Beta told me your colony was destroyed. That you came back to Earth because you had nowhere else to go.
It's true. After we reached our destination, a planet in the Sirius star system, we spent decades building a new home. The physical constraints of Earth, the boundaries of mortality, gone. To think of what we could have done with it. It might have been a utopia. Instead, we stagnated, absorbed in effortless comforts and virtual realities. It took a cataclysm to finally yank us out of our stupor.
What happened?
A massive geological event. We knew of instabilities in the planet core, but we underestimated them. By the time the collapse was upon us, it was too late to stop it. Only a few of us made it to the ship in time. We set course for Earth, the only safe harbor left to us.
Which you decided to make unsafe for anyone else.
Not me. Gerard.
Why
He
is it?
believes it's better to wipe the canvas clean than work around the smudges. No more primitive tribes, no more combat machines, only a blank slate to do with as he pleases. But we will stop him. All we have to do is get into that base.
At least you have a grander vision.
What exactly is your plan to sneak into the Zenith base?
We will make use of a lesson I learned from an early age. Always know your exits.
Fair.
In this case, a place where Gerard's new construction meets the ancient foundation. A passage that only I can access. When Silence flings his army at the base, we will enter through this back door, bypassing most of the fighting. The distraction will provide us with a window in which to rescue Beta and Gaia.
Let's see. Apple, pomegranate. I'm assuming tea, but that could be any type of drink. Bananas. And the other three items, I'm assuming. I don't recognize. I'm assuming the green one is a avocado, and the other two are definitely just pastries.
Once we're inside the base, where will we find Beta and Gaia?
And that looks like a avocado.
Here, in the command, by then Gaia will have been reunited with all of its subordinate functions, including Hephaestus.
Whoops.
What about the alpha build of Apollo on your ship?
A simple matter of recovery once the others have been dealt with. With that
Fair.
in hand, we'll have everything we need to make this world as it should be.
And next thing you know, near the very end, she backstabs us.
How do you know about Silence's plan?
A, she's smart. B, that he contacted her. C, bullshit. Yes, I just answered like 3 different questions right there.
He isn't the only one adept at spyware.
You hacked his focus?
That's amazing.
No, he's too careful for that. But his subordinates? Not so much.
Ah,
He gave additional focuses to the tribals he...
I see. Instead of reverse hacking him, which, mind you, probably would have backfired, you reverse hacked anyone near him.
branded the sons of Prometheus. By tapping them, I learned about most of his dealings. The distribution of override technology, the arming of Tanakh rebels, and the secret pact with Regala to attack Gerard's base.
But how did he come up with a weapon that can take down your shields?
That's the one thing I haven't been able to figure out, but however he did it, I'm quite certain it will work. With it and the Tanakh army, victory seems to be within his grasp. Such a shame he'll be disappointed.
Regala's only interested in killing Hekarro and waging war on the Karja. What does she have to gain by attacking Zeniths?
It's the price she must pay for her war. Without the machines, her little
Hekarro?
in exchange for an assault on the base. Pride has deluded her into thinking she can actually survive such a battle. And all without ever knowing who the sons of Prometheus really answer to. Yet for all of Silence's brilliance, still he underestimates you. That blind spot is what will allow us to take Beta and Gaia right out from under him.
While hundreds of Tanakh are cut down outside.
I mean, yeah.
So you knew Elizabeth. What was she like?
Liz was everything she was. I see in you. And more.
Vanda
Your ingenuity,
Tilda
your
Vandermeer.
determination, your moral compass. You've managed to distill her greatest qualities and make them your own.
I'm not asking about me. Tell me about Elizabeth. What was she really like?
You're just... yes. Technically, she is describing Elizabeth, who is ironically you.
The honest answer is that I don't actually know. For all the time that I spent with her, she always kept a part of herself locked away. It was like that from the moment we met.
So you knew Elizabeth, but you didn't know Elizabeth.
So when you met Elizabeth, she was what? Distant? Aloof?
Not
Definitely.
aloof. Not exactly. It was a summit in Paris about machine learning, a touchy subject in those days, because regulatory authorities were just starting to clamp down on AIs. Liz gave the keynote address. She had already achieved great renown for her work in automated environmental reclamation. But in her address, she was just starting to imagine the next step. An AI-driven system that wouldn't just act on its programming, but actually take responsibility for its sphere of influence.
To care about life. Not just follow orders.
Revolutionary stuff. I was fascinated. And I wanted to meet her for a long time. I watched her after her talk. She had spoken with such moral authority, such empathy. But after that, she retreated. I could tell she felt uncomfortable with all of her admirers. It was as if giving the talk had cost her something. I didn't want to be a pest, so I planned my approach carefully.
So how did you finally approach Elizabeth after her talk?
I picked the right moment. The morning of the next day, right as she came back to the conference, she had just had her coffee. She was fresh, rested. It was like she had braced herself for the onslaught of colleagues. I asked if I could walk with her, then put forth a question about her talk that I thought was intelligent. Her answer made me realize it wasn't, but she was very welcoming. Almost as if we were previously acquainted. It was only halfway through the conversation that I realized she knew exactly who I was. It was quite a shock to me. My business was trafficking in secrets, and I took great pains to protect my anonymity. So that was Liz, perpetually one step ahead. I came to view our meeting as a metaphor for our friendship. She always seemed to know me far better than I knew her.
I guess I know the feeling. First Varl. Now Hekaro and Litanox. Your plan would wipe out an entire tribe. There has to be another way.
We are in an admittedly desperate situation, but I assure you there isn't. Remember Zero Dawn. Elizabeth's sacrifice. Sometimes many have to die for a new world to grow.
If it looks impossible, look deeper. Wait. The data channel. It still exists, doesn't it? I need you to open it. Let me talk to Beta.
Impossible. We might be detected.
It's worth the risk. There is another way, one where the Tenakth survive.
But we won't. If the others...
If you want to help, open it. What are they doing to her?
Virtual reality dissociation. The manual merge of Hephaestus will take hours upon hours of tedious micromanagement. If she resists the work, they run simulations to induce feelings of isolation and despair.
Beta, can you hear me?
You're alive. They're watching me. I can't hold up this extra protection for long. You should have killed me.
No. No, look at me. I'm coming for you. I promise. Okay? I just need you to hold out a while longer and work on the merge.
Then I think it can be done.
I'll contact again when it's time. Can you hold on?
As long as I know you're coming for me, I can endure anything.
All right. I did as you asked. Now I think you need to tell me what you're planning.
I'm going to take Sylens' army away. I don't need it. Only the weapon he made to penetrate your shields.
And how do you propose to get it? Ask him nicely?
Yeah.
Without Regala and her rebels, he won't have a choice. We'll be his only option.
Only option for what? What did you tell her?
That is between me and my sister. Will be Sylens' only option for crashing that base. I'll tell you the rest later. But first, there are a couple of things I have to do.
Oh. And what are those?
Lay my friend to rest. And then I'm going to use the override that Beta gave me at Gemini to put an end to Regala's rebellion. From the air.
Wait.
Since you insist on doing things your way, I know of something that will truly help you make a grand entrance with the Tenat.
Hold up.
The ancient Horus Titans still possess electromagnetic energy cells as part of their arsenal. Drop one of those on Regala's army and they'll receive quite a surprise.
You're just making things
So go,
more
do
and
what
more
you must.
fun.
I'll come to your base if you manage to bring Sylens to the table.
Not if. When.
I'm assuming there's gonna be some type of time skip. Varl's grave.
Erend, are you there?
Aloy! Aloy, is that really you?
Yes.
It's me. Where's everyone else?
We're all... we're back at base. What happened?
It might be easier to explain in person. I'll try to join you there when I can.
Okay. We'll wait here for you. It's good to hear your voice, Aloy.
Well, that's locked. Wrong button. Oh, cool. It's literally right here. It is right here. Of course, there's a spot for them. Wait a minute. No. No, they didn't. They did. But... that's bad. That's annoying. That's cool and new. That's still cool and new, but it's a nightmare to deal with. That's just a nightmare. Good news. Campfire. Bad news. Fire claw. More good news. Campfires. Alright, if those are showing up, I'm definitely gonna attempt to tame Fireclaws. Without hesitation or even a quarrel in my mind. I am going to grab Fireclaw. Because those things are beasts in their own right. And those were some of the hardest enemies to beat inside Horizon Zero Dawn, the Forbidden West DLC. Which is why I heavily suggest people play the DLC before they get Forbidden West, because that fills in not only several character plot holes.
Just to let you know, I'm now patched into your focus network.
Great. I take it the other Zeniths can't hear us?
Of course not. And they don't know about your base either, in case you were wondering. I've sent you data on the Horus energy cells you can use against Regala's forces. Reach out to me when you're ready to acquire one.
Understood.
Bomb. Anyhow, Fireclaw's definitely useful against whatchamacallits. Just gonna take that away again. Okay. So things gonna just do something. Anything's gonna happen. Varl's dead. Everyone here is something.
When you're wounded, you have to strike back. Draw blood.
Hey! Can't I get one damn minute to mourn my friend?
Regala is going to slaughter my tribe to overthrow Hikaru. The Zeniths have Beta and Gaia. We can't sit around wallowing in our losses.
Kotallo's right. We must fight.
Oh, all right. So what are we gonna do, huh? Take on all of Regala's rebels?
I mean,
Not to mention
kinda.
the Zeniths. What can we even do? Throw ourselves at their base?
Something like that.
Walks in.
After we lost contact with you, we regrouped and went to Gemini. What happened? The recording we found on Varl's focus cut off when that Zenith, Eric...
The Zeniths were tracking Hephaestus. When Gaia trapped it in Gemini, they knew where we were. After Varl tried to stop them, they took Beta and Gaia. I only survived because one of the Zeniths turned against the others to save me.
One of them? Well... at least we didn't lose you too. So what do we do now?
We're going to defeat the Zeniths. And get Beta and Gaia back.
You're right. At least we didn't lose Aloy, because the plot wouldn't exist otherwise, because she is the main character, and bullshit still exists because of that.
But first, we're going to stop Regala.
How?
Back in
Bomb.
Gemini, Beta gave me a gift. There's something I need to do first to make it work, but it could put an end to the bloodshed.
Word is, Regala's readying her army for an all-out assault on the Grove. I need to be there.
I know. Go. Stand with Hikaru. And keep an eye on the sky.
Strike true as the 10.
The rest of you, whatever preparations you need to make, upgrades, resupplies, get on it. It won't be long before we take the fight to the Zeniths.
You'll be ready, Aloy. And when you're ready, meet me outside the east exit. I'd like to have a word in private.
Cool. I'll make sure.
Even when things are darkest, you're the flame that lights the way forward.
For some
Just tell
reason,
me one
yes.
thing. Am I gonna get to smash up a bunch of Zenith bastards?
Yes.
We all are.
Good.
You get to kill exactly
Before I do
2.
anything else, I should check on Zoe. That sounded important.
Check. Right. Okay. But money, as well as resources, as well as literally replacing all of this. You think I'm going to ignore that, Aloy? The first thing I'm going to do, restock on all of this. Especially metal bones. Because if you haven't noticed, we're kinda low. And now we're even lower. I have to use those really sparingly now that I think about it. Even if it comes down to this, I'm restocking on ammo. Oh man, I'm out of metal bones now. Good news, everything's replenished effectively. Bad news, no metal bones. Guess what, I won't need to use that if I don't have metal bones to go with it. But everything else, definitely. Ridgewood is made with everything, and only fire stuff is made out of sparkers, but you will be needed. You will be needed. Just everything. If there's an object that I will need, I'm going to say yes. And I do need those. I need lots of those, but unfortunately the game does not allow me to carry more than a set amount.
Focus. It's Varl's. I used to think no Nora would ever accept one. Varl did. Even when he was overwhelmed. He refused to let me push him away. I failed Varl at Gemini. I should have pushed harder. I should have done more. I'd give anything to have him back. When it looks impossible, look deeper. And then fight like you can win. I will, Rost. Now and always.
Unfortunately, there's a song for this, but unfortunately, if I decide to do anything with it, YouTube will shove a stick so far into my spinal column, I will never see the light of day again.
All this time, I've been so focused on what Elizabeth was like, what she would do. I was wrong to hold Beta to that standard. I probably shouldn't even be doing it to myself. I'll try to do better.
Yo, this man is sitting right here. Bro, I thought you would be sitting here, heavily drinking for no apparent reason.
I thought you were gonna go fight some Tanakh.
Not right
I
now.
need to check in with you first.
To make sure
Don't worry
you're...
about me. I'm just, picking up the pieces like everyone else. I'll be there when you need me.
Oh.
Do you think so will be okay?
I don't think anyone's ever okay after losing the one they love. I can't tell you she's handling it better than I ever did. That keeps the rest of us level-headed.
Anybody take you up on that ale you brought yet?
Zoe can't stand the smell of it. I tried Alva, but I don't think she knows what taking a break means.
And what about Kotallo?
Ah, now there's a man that can hold his liquor. Pretty sure we downed half a keg. We had a good chat, I think.
You think? What, did you guys drink so much that you couldn't, neither of you could remember?
I know you hate waiting, but you'll have to stay back here a little longer.
Well, you go do what you gotta do, but are you okay? It's not just Varl we lost. Beta's gone. I almost lost it when I realized my sister had been taken by Dervahl back in the Sundom.
I'm getting her back. That's all that matters.
Understood.
Correction, you didn't lose anything. You nearly drank yourself to death. Would be more accurate. Then, when you heard there was a chance for her being alive, you were willing to literally risk everything to even have a slight chance for her to be alive again.
I need to get going.
You better get there before Kotallo tries to take on Regalla's entire army by himself.
He probably will.
Do me a favor. Don't go disappearing on us again.
I'll try not to. I am answering all of these questions honestly. Now I can look at this, finally. And now thinking to myself, how many times do I have to slam my skull against a table until this game just allows me to pass by? $32! Oh god! That is an entire 5-level difference. No wonder this game is classified as so long. Unless you're like max level and doing New Game Plus or something, you ain't complete the game. At all, it's like 60 hours alone. By itself. I am technically able to do most of these, other than this one. Yeah, this will be empty by the time we're done. This will probably also be empty. Mostly. Most of them would be empty. This will definitely be empty. This will none of the rest of it, other than this, oh well, definitely this. Yeah, pretty much other than this, everything will be, well actually no, everything will pretty much be full except for errands, jobs, side quests, and cauldrons technically, as well as rebel camps. Rebel camps, cauldrons, technically tallnecks. Pretty much everything except for unknowns, contracts, mailing pits, relic runes, because I hate doing those, gauntlet runs, which cool, and collectibles, because I'm probably never going to finish that in the first place. Like, nice coloration with this. You know, nice. I would love to have a full view of the model, but you can't. And yeah, pretty much goes from red and yellow. I'm assuming, because you know you can't exactly get a full view. Red and yellow and white and brown, technically on the tail. To black and yellow. pretty much the same with all of these. They pretty much don't change color. Colored machine I've seen so far. This is technically colored blue, but it doesn't really look like it. Looks more like the light off of its eyes is reflecting off of it. This is... It's literally just... It's just... doesn't make sense. Fire, acid, frost. Definitely an Apex next. Corruptors are just corruptors. I have nothing to say here. And of course, for 2 different versions, which probably means that, yeah, there's... It's just Stalker. I don't want to say anything about it. This is just a nightmare on 4 legs. I don't really want to fight any of these at all. Oh yeah, I want to know a little plot hole that exists. You probably recognize it as the thing on the beach that was randomly dead and surrounded by a bunch of loot guys, I guess, technically. So yeah, we killed them, and then, you know, in the cauldron we had to fight this, and you can probably guess what drained my resources so quickly. Literally white armor, black clothing, then gray clothing, but I doubt he's the most morally gray. That's how much of the game I've completed. Not the worst, not the best. This is useful. It's acid and fire. Just a universal defense. What is this? Did someone just say yes? Let's be honest, someone said yes. Someone said it and just said yes. In the old game, you pretty much throw away anything expensive. Cool, how do I activate it? L1 and then R1. So like this, and then tap R1, really? That is surprisingly simple. And good. That's a good reason for it. That is a good reason. Keep the combos simple. So I don't have to slam my head against a literal table. I'm not even joking about the table part. I'm joking about slamming my head against it, not that the table doesn't exist.
Over here, Aloy.
Prayer, I'm assuming. To pass him on, technically.
We would come out here to tend to the garden. Sometimes I needed fresh air. Other times we would simply sit and watch the sunrise. So when we returned from Gemini, it seemed fitting that he be laid to rest here. Now he can always look out at Plainsong and Further east, to the Nora sacred lands.
He would have liked that.
He often spoke of his sister, Vala. He said she used to gather her favorite golden blooms and tie them to her spear. Their mother called it useless, but Vala was stubborn.
Yeah, she seemed like that.
She must have gotten it from her mother.
But I tracked down the flower. Gathered its seeds.
I swear, if it's a dandelion.
As verdant blooms wither, roots rot in snow, still the sea rises, as certain as stone. From death follows new life. So it is with the land. And so it is with us. I'm with child, Aloy.
You're pregnant. Varl's kid, come on, next game, Varl's kid. I swear. I swear. Next game, Varl's kid's going to exist. Then fourth game, Varl's kid, main character. This would make me happy. I don't care what happens within the next 2 games. I want to see Varl's kid.
I was going to tell him when he got back from Gemini.
He ain't getting back.
One day, I'll bring our child here. We'll sit among the blooms and watch the sunrise.
I don't care what we have to do with the next 2 games, really.
I never got to tell him. To thank him. For saving my life, sure, but also for not giving up on me.
He always knew.
Goodbye, Varl. I promise to look after them.
Yes, including on the next game.
I'll try to visit again when I can. But for now, I need to go to the fabrication terminal to install the new override on my spear. Then I'll use it on a Sunwing and get ready for an entrance Regalla will never forget.
Wait, where's the person? I know this exists because of what resources. I'm pretty sure they're green. They should be. Yes, pale bloom. Midnight, crimson, blue, green. Dyers, where's a dyer? I want to find dyer. Cool, I have to do something there. I want to find a dyer before the end of the game. Hunter's good. Workbench. Your stash. Stitcher. No dyers. Where's a dyer? Come on, I want to do this before the end of the game. I'd rather die 1,000 times before I don't find one of them. Civilization. No. Where is a dyer? Dyer over here. I swear at some point I'm just gonna assume it's a Stitcher and just head over to them. Really, those plow. I was gonna say, I swear, if Grimhorns naturally spawn. Is there a dyer over here? No, Stitcher and really no weapons person over here. Not even over here. Interesting. I definitely would have thought. No! No! Why would you allow that to exist? Come on, I was hoping for the big elephant thing to spawn somewhere around here. But this thing? Here? Cook, Stitcher, Stash, Herbalist. Just filter. No, I don't care about those. Don't. Actually, I do care about those. How much you want to bet? There's like going to be very little. Yeah. Like very little. But yeah, I don't think there's gonna be a lot. Herbalist, Cook. Ironically, this area has the most. Hunter, Stash. Yeah, I'm assuming it's Stitchers. Like, the game is not helping.